Hello, hello, hi, gigpreneur, what's going on? Welcome, happy Wednesday, in hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. If you have been struggling to get started with an online space, or if you've been thinking about getting into the online space as a side business and you need a little bit of help, go to sidegigshawn.com and let's get to know each other. Let's see if I can help you make some extra money using online space. That is sidegigshawn.com. We are live on multiple platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Welcome. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Be kind of neat. I myself am from Southern California. So, yeah. I got a good one for you tonight. So, the lives that I do, 99.9% of them, um, I agree with them unless I actually say, I don't agree with this, or I'm changing this, or I have a different feedback or drawback or takeaway, right? So, so this is one of them. This is one of those lives. This was mentioned as five tests that a man should pass before a woman gets into a relationship with him. Well, I like these tests, and I don't see why it would just have to be for men. I think both sides need to pass this. And I think it's very important to pay attention to them, or at least have the conversation. Okay. So let me know what your thoughts are as I read through these. Have you, it's one of those things that, I don't know if you want to call it a test, but it's one of those things that, when you start to ask these questions more, like deeper questions or different types of questions, I think you're going to learn a lot more about you and the other person. You know, I mean, before, here's what I would say: before you go and change your status to in a relationship, you may want to kind of run a couple of tests just to make sure. And these are not like hidden tests. It's not like, oh, it's secretive, like the other person shouldn't know. These are very obvious. So let's get started with these. Um, I mean, let's start with this. What is the biggest red flag people ignore at the beginning of a relationship because they're blinded by attraction? What's the biggest red flag? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious to know. For those of you on YouTube, consider subscribing, hitting that bell button. Let's go. All right, numero uno. Number one is the stress test. You gotta watch somebody get tired. You gotta watch somebody under pressure, or maybe they're embarrassed, they're put down. How do they react? How do they respond? Are they still respectful? Some of you are laughing with me. Um, are they still respectful? Do they are they really sharp in their reactions? right? Because when you get into a relationship or marriage, this stuff magnifies stress. So the other person's default becomes your everyday life. So you better be very, very careful with that. I'm telling you, that stress test is a big one. You know, maybe Wi-Fi goes out and they're like, oh, how do they respond? How do they react? Number two, accountability test. Um, when somebody is wrong, can they own up to it? No pointing fingers back, no deflection, no blaming, no pretending it didn't happen. You know, can they actually apologize without giving any guilt? That's a big deal. Accountability, I think that's a major, major thing because a lot of us, men or women, we don't take that very, very seriously. We don't like to take responsibility. We like to pass it on to somebody else, blame it to somebody else, right? So, accountability test. Number three, the consistency test. Is he, is she stable? Like, they're not like for weeks and then nobody can act right around them during this time, right? Because you need steadiness, not like love bombing and like you drop some love and then you drop some hate and you drop intensity and you gotta kind of go on that cruise control and steady and kind of just you know that consistency test is a big deal. This can go back to number one. How do they consistently react or respond to a situation? Think about that, right? Number four, who's getting value from this? If you're getting value from this, drop the word value in the comments. Let's go. Um, the right relationship, remember this, it's not about the butterflies and all this stuff. Because that stuff is great in the beginning, but let's just face it, that stuff kind of does fade away. A real relationship, it gives you peace, clarity, safety, right? Even room to grow, expand. So it's kind of important to pay attention to that. Number four, the boundaries test. Can he or she say no to friends, to distractions, to tempting situations, um, to trips and nights out that are not going to end up well? Can that person protect the relationship from outside influence? That's just so big because the outside influence is getting crazier and crazier, right? Options and peoples and morals and boundaries are out the window. So people do all kinds of weird stuff. Can that person protect the relationship from the outside influencers? If the person has weak boundaries, well, they're not going to get any stronger. I can tell you that much, right? So make sure that the person, and this applies to you as well. All these, it's not just for the other person. This you You gotta have boundaries as well. You gotta pass the boundary test yourself. Can you protect the relationship from the outside influencers? Influence, not influencers, right? So pay attention to that. It's both sided. That's why I think it's really important to pay attention to that. Beta June, how are you? I see you. What's going on? I see you on Instagram. If you're here, make sure you drop a comment because we are live on multiple channels. And that's why I look over here just to see if I see any comments so I know where you're tuning in from. Super kind of cool. I'll give you a little shout out. Number 5. Which one so far has resonated with you? You get any value from this? You may be like thinking about, oh, that person. Number 5. The conflict and repair test. Come on. When you guys disagree, do you both understand, or do you like to dominate and win? Do you work on repair, reassurance, and let's work things out? Or is it the silent treatment, anger, resentment, walking around nagging, being rude, prideful? How do you both handle conflict? It's so big, and especially under pressure, right? So important. So important. And number 6, oh, I did say 5, right? 5, yeah, sorry, so 5. So let's review. Let me know which one kind of hits home for you. The stress test, accountability test, consistency test, boundaries test, conflict and repair test. Drop in the comments. Let me know which one hits you. I think for me, conflict and repair is a big one for me. Stress test is a big one too for me. I think those are the ones that make the most sense for me anyway. So hopefully you got some value from this. If you did, and you feel like somebody else would get value, and you know that person, tag them, share it with them, and let's go. If you're not connected with me, then you can connect with me on multiple platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Threads, and I go with Side Gig Sean. If you need a little help with building some extra income using the online space, go to sidegeeksean.com. Let's get to know each other and let's see if I can help you make some extra money on the side using the online space. With that, I am signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.